going. Real quick in the chat, drop where you're watching from and drop what flavor ketones you've had this morning. Would love to know. Let's see. I had the new mango dragon fruit fueled by female flavor. The thing's delicious. It's definitely become my new favorite. And I had a orange creamsicle radline. Yum. Let's see, we got Alaska in the house, Kent, Washington, Arizona, Wyoming. What's up, Heather? Boston. Oh my gosh, we are like all over the country here. Florida, Minnesota. Where else are you guys at? Type where you're from. Got Noel from Canada. All right, we got a Power Packed Huddle call that is going to be kicking off here in about 45 seconds. Shoot a message out in any chats you're in, and let's get this kickoff loaded up, because guess what? It's the beginning of October. Like, holy moly. I can't believe it. It's one of those things that I always say, time is just flying by, and I actually believe it. It'll be this time next month, and we'll be saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's November. The next thing you know, it'll be 2024. So what matters is what we do in the moment, right? The decisions that we make on a daily basis, the consistency that we show up to our business for, because of the speed of life, because of the speed of time. If we do things consistently, next thing you know, you look back and you're a year in, you're 2 years in, and you're hitting different milestones in your business, right? It's the expectation that it has to happen now. You probably just heard Chrissy back there microwaving something. It's the microwave society in which we live, where we say, hey, I drank ketones for a month and I didn't lose 30 pounds. Maybe this stuff doesn't work. Or, hey, I just fill in the blank. I just shared this with 10 people and I'm not rich yet. Maybe this stuff doesn't work. Maybe this business isn't for me. It's one of those things where if you start to understand a long-term vision and a philosophy of inspired action towards that vision on a daily basis, that's when you'll start to see the results. And I was having a conversation with Coach Becca. I don't know if she's on here yet. She is one of our pro champs out in the Northeast in New Hampshire. And we were just having a conversation about, like, what does it take to build this business? And is it worth it, right? Is it worth it? What does it take, and is it worth it? And I want you to think into your own life. I want you to think in your own life, what have you committed to in the past that took some time, energy, and effort that then yielded some results? And I think most of you can find something out. In fact, share in the chat, like, what's something that you committed to in the past that took some time, energy, and effort that then you got to see the harvest at the end. And I'm going to share with you 2 stories, because sometimes we commit fully to things in life. We commit fully to different endeavors, our job, our career. Maybe you became a nurse and you went to nursing school. Maybe you became you fill in the blank. We commit to that, or learning a hobby. We commit to go. And the results aren't necessarily immediate, right? Chrissy and I started playing pickleball. She started playing pickleball in October last year. Finally, she convinced me to do it in January. And we've just been playing. We've been committed on a weekly basis to going and playing and learning and getting a little bit better each and every week. Now we're pretty darn good. We can beat most of the people out there, right? Why is that? It's because we made a commitment to it. Now it's a hobby, right? But what in your life are you committed to? Committed to 75 hard. That's awesome. You want to learn pickleball. I mean, there you go. You got to commit to it. Hardware store commitment. Yes, Melissa, you are absolutely committed to that hardware store. Your fitness, talking to 5 to 10 people daily in public, Sarah says. So I'm going to give you 2 examples, and then I'm excited for today's call because I have 3 individuals who are going to share at various stages of the business. But what you're going to see is their commitment to the process over time, which yielded the results that they are currently showing and experiencing. Right. So many of you know my background is flying airplanes. I was an airline pilot with Delta for 11 years. And I went to college to fly airplanes. I started learning to fly airplanes when I was 18. Now, going to school is one of the biggest commitments that we make, and it has probably the least immediate result, right? But we're conditioned and we're programmed to understand that that's just how it is. But if you think about it, like, it's a pretty powerful commitment. So I committed to go to school to learn how to fly an airplane. right? First year, got my private pilot's license. Then I started working on my instrument rating. Then I started working on my commercial rating. Then I started working on my multi-engine rating. Then I learned how to fly jets. Then I got my air transport rating. So there's all of these steps that you have to go through, and each and every way I am paying for it, and I am showing up for it every single day. Now, that first class of flying airplanes, there's like a 70% attrition rate, meaning 70% of the kids that start don't finish. Why? Because it's a commitment. Why? Because you're doing the thing every single day, and then it's not necessarily, doesn't just show up, right? It's not just easy. This business is very similar to that. So I committed 5 years of my life, 4 years going to college, and then 1 year flight instructing, where I made a little bit of money, but not a lot, in order to get into a career that did not pay me a heck of a ton of money when I was there. But why did I make that commitment? Like, why did I go to class every day? Why did I study all of those things? Why did I take check rides that were incredibly stressful and nerve-wracking? Because you could fail, right? You weren't going to ever really crash. There's always an instructor there to take over. But if you did something stupid, then you'd fail and you'd have to do it again. There's always this challenge. Why was it worth it? For some reason, I had this vision in my mind that if I did these things, then I'd get to fulfill and live my dream of being a pilot, where they would pay me to fly airplanes and pay me to go places, right? And that vision, that like what I had seen was possible, that career path, which I had actually witnessed my dad experience. I saw the places that he got to go. I saw the lifestyle that he lived, and I wanted that. Like, I'm like, oh, that's if there's a job out there for me, that's it. Right. So that vision was so strong, was seated strongly enough that I was going to take the action, even if it cost me money, even if it cost me time, even if it was stressful, for 5 years before I actually got a job doing that. When I got the job, like, I was euphoric. This is amazing. I loved it. Okay. There's, of course, certain aspects of the job that I didn't love, and now I love doing this way more. So just think about that. Think about the commitment. Think about the time. Now, another education-related story, Chrissy, she went to the same college I did. She actually got a degree in commercial aviation and air traffic control. Ended up doing neither of them. Long story there. We're not going to get into it. But ended up working for a company called Lockheed Martin, which is a defense contractor. And she got into their finance department randomly. But in there, she realized, man, if I want to progress through this career, I need to have a little bit more education. I need to learn a little bit more. So she signed up for a master's degree, an MBA. For 2 years in our 20s, when she was like 24, 25, she spent every single night studying, every single night taking classes, going through this process of getting another degree. It cost money, right? It cost a lot of time. But for some reason, she saw the end result as worth the effort, as worth the time, right? And it was 2 years of her life. Like, I remember very clearly, like, me doing some fun stuff and her saying, nope, I'm committed to this. I'm doing this. I'm going to make sure I get great grades. Okay, those are early on in life. Something happens when we get past the ages of 20 or 30. We're no longer willing to commit a couple years, short-term like effort, short-term, you could call it sacrifice, you could call it investment in yourself for a long-term game. Now, what's interesting is if you look at what's possible in our business, right, inside of Prove It, the amount of freedom, the amount of income that can be created if you put in the time, energy, and effort, not just for 30 days, not just for 60 days, not just for a year, but for 3 to 5 years of truly focused, truly doing the thing, truly having vision for where you're going and taking the time, energy, and effort. Guess what? Like, that's where the magic starts to happen. That 3 to 5 year mark, you can start to see, boom, a hockey stick, right? For me, when I got started in this style business back in 2009, right, I met some people early on that were sharing with me what their lifestyle was like. And it wasn't just about the income. It was about the time. It was about the freedom that they had. And I remember attaching the same level of commitment, the same level of, just like I did as a kid, seeing my dad as a pilot saying, I want that. I'd love to be that. I'd love to experience that. So I went to school to put in the 5 years to get that, right? As a cutting my teeth at age 26 inside of network marketing, I realized, man, I want that. Like, I could see myself doing that. And if I follow the system, even if it takes me 5 years, would it be worth it? I thought, well, I spent 5 years to make, $30,000 my first year flying airplanes. I guess I can do it. So I did it. And guess what? Here we are 10 years later, and it's been absolutely life-changing, significant, and powerful. But the first 7 years were not a rocket ship, right? It was like this, didn't make a ton of money, thought I was maybe not in the right place. Maybe I should just focus on being a pilot. Didn't make a ton of money. Oh, made a little bit, created a little bit of impact, reconnected to why I was doing this, saw a vision for what was possible, kept going. And then next thing you know, it starts to go like this. Next thing you know, it goes like this, and it's off the screen. Okay. If you guys can track that, like if that resonates a little bit, type resonates in the chat, because this is where the rubber meets the road. I was in some chats yesterday, and everybody has amazing ideas, and I love all these ideas. But at the as far as building systems and creating just different things to help support the community, those are all awesome. But at the end of the day, right, it's the simple things that we do on a daily basis that matter, right? It's the simple creating a new conversation, validating those conversations, plugging people into the community, doing that so many times over and over and over again with so many different people. That's what yields the results over time. So I have a couple people on who are going to share their stories. I wanted to just pre-frame this, because if you have big goals inside of Prove It, what you have to do is see those out 3 years from now. Where are you going to be? 5 years from now, where are you going to be? And then for the next 3 to 5 years, without question, without doubt, without fail, you have to take action. You have to take action with the expectation that it's coming together. Wow, this is going to be amazing. It might not happen overnight, but as it starts to unfold, you'll be amazed, just like these people that are going to share. So first one is Mitzi Lowe. She is coming in to us from North Carolina. What's up, Mitzi? How's it going? You can come off mute.
Good, good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Real quick, how long you been drinking ketones? What's your background, and what's been your success with the product?
Been drinking ketones for 20 months or 21 months, been sharing for 20 months. So I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary, Prove-iversary. It has been the tool to help me to lose weight and to revolutionize my health and my family's health. And what was your other question? What was the third thing? I got focused on the 3 things you told me.
That's awesome. How much weight have you lost? Just because I like asking you that question.
120 pounds of fat.
That's awesome. Now, when Mitzi signed up, when you enrolled as a promoter, how much weight had you lost with ketones?
I don't.
Not very much.
It was just a month.
Yeah. So here's what's cool. Mitzi's been on a health journey herself, and she started to share it, right? And over the course of the last 20 months, has dropped 120 pounds. She's crushing it. But she was one of those that didn't wait for her success to start sharing it.
Correct.
Right. So that's go ahead.
Sorry. So yeah, when I finally shared it with my husband after he come home from working, and I saw how interested he was in it, and then just knowing that what it had done for me in a very short period of time, I was like, okay, everybody needs to know about this. And I'm not sure I want to do this kind of job again, but I'm like, people need to know about it. So I decided to give it a shot. And actually it's my 7th MLM, and I decided to claim that number as for the biblical meaning of number 7 for completion. And I am just trying to live that daily, as far as it doesn't matter how long it takes me. I'm going to see this through till the Lord takes me home, because I just love the way it makes me feel, what it's done for me, and what I've seen it do for other people. And through that, I have learned so much with this community. And I have realized how this community is not just about a business, and it's about us as a person. It's about us growing and taking those personal development steps that can ultimately grow our business. And I also see myself where, as much as I want to be at COC right now, I know why I'm not there. I can see it. But I can see where I'm going. I can see a plan to get me there. And I'm just charging forward to that goal and then beyond. And I have recently just hit my 4th month in a row of multiplier. I had done 3 months previously and then missed it for a month or two, and I'm on 4 now. I will get these next 2 months because I'm going to get that extra bonus for the 6th month. And I'm just excited about getting out there and sharing it more. I do have a page online, but I seem to do better. I'm doing okay on that page, but I seem to do better face to face with people. I did push myself to talk to someone in the grocery store today, even though I didn't really go anywhere. I did push myself to do that. But I do like setting up tables. I have 3 planned at this moment, and I do plan on getting more time set up for that. But I don't know what else you.
Let me ask you. So you got started, you're on a personal health journey and you started sharing it. Did your business take off like a rocket ship?
No. I mean,
Awesome.
I've had ups and downs with it. I mean, I've definitely and that very first month I did hit MVP, I think, good. And then it went down.
That's okay. And what rank did you just hit in September for the first time?
4.
Rank 4. So Mitzi just crossed rank 4, which is 10,000 in volume as of September 30th. So congratulations on that. So what I want you guys to see and kind of understand is Mitzi's been involved for 20 months and she's shown up. Like she's come to, I remember she came to her first little mastermind, and she's come to Prove It events. She just keeps showing up, and then she's been doing the business. And I remember it was probably 2 or 3 months ago, you hit rank 3 for the first time. I'm like, oh, look, Mitzi's going. And then I didn't even have you on my radar for charging to 4, and here you are. So congratulations, first off. And what's amazing is the consistency has paid off. So have there been months where you're just like, I don't know if this is going to work? None of the people that I sign up are doing anything. Have you ever had those thoughts?
Definitely. I mean, I've definitely had several people sign up as promoters and really excited about them being under me and doing stuff and talking, and then nothing happens. But that is where one of the places where I'm at now and learning to work with those people more.
That's awesome. So what's one of your goals going into 2024 or for 2024? What do you want to see come through this business?
I want to bring my husband home from his full-time job. I don't want to have to work out of the home. I want Prove It to be a full-time business for both of us. So that is my ultimate goal that we would like to see within 2024.
I love it. Let's see, on the 30th of September or the 29th, I remember looking at your numbers and you were probably, I don't know, 500 in volume away from MVP. So when I saw your name come through hitting MVP, I'm like, holy smokes, she did it. What did you do to hit MVP? Like, how did you make that happen? I know Christina was hanging out with you and she probably got you into some serious action. What did you guys do?
We did. We just sat next to each other and was on our phone and on the computer, just texting, messaging people nonstop. I think she got here at like 2:00, and it was, when I went to bed, and I went to bed before Christina did, I was kind of like, oh, sorry, Christina. But it was just, we were just, pushing each other, encouraging each other to make those calls and to make those connections. And it does help having that community and having those people with you. But I will say, actually, on the 30th, I was only like 210 points away or 310 points away. But then when I looked back at it a couple hours later, I had actually had a return. So I was pushed back on the 30th to 550 or what I needed to hit multiplier. And just being persistent and talking to people, and that really came from 2 orders that got me pushed over the edge. So it does it. I mean, it's amazing in the sense that it really can only take 1 or 2 people to get you there, even though you may have to talk to 100 people. It's the numbers thing.
So what advice would you give somebody watching right now who is either A, on their own personal transformation journey that wants your transformation of 120 pounds, or B, somebody that's kind of been in the business for maybe 6 months, 9 months, a year, and is like, man, I don't know if I can do this or not. I'm been in here for a year and I'm just doing 1,000 in volume, or I'm just hitting rank 2. How do what would you tell them?
I think it kind of it's the same for both. It would be just to not give up. I mean, yeah, you may have those down days, you may have those down times, but you need to keep picking yourself up and just need to keep going forward, because like I've heard it, you're going in 10 years down the road, you're going to be 10 years down the road. Do you want to be, if it takes you that long to get there, even if you're working at it slowly, even if it comes slowly, do you still want to be 100 pounds, 120 pounds lighter, or do you want to be COC? Do you want to be legend? Even if it takes you that long. And for me, it's yes. And I just keep that in mind, and I just keep moving forward and taking those steps. And, the biggest thing is the personal growth. That comes along with this. You got to put in the time for the personal growth. And I think with that, a lot of the other stuff comes along with it.
Love it. Do you have an innate statement, Mitzi?
I do.
You want to share with us?
I can. This is my first one, and my second one kind of just blends together. So how it comes out is how it's going to come out. I'm Mitzi Myers-Lowe. I'm a courageous, grateful, successful, positive, motivated, legendary Christian prover leader who learns, prays, empowers others to change their lives, pays it forward, and enjoys the journey. I totally rock, and I prove it every single day. I am a child of God.
Woo! I mean, all right, guys, give Mitzi some love in the chat. That's inspiring.
I just want to say, sorry, Nick. Yeah. I just want to say that the innate statement for me is kind of what has been my catalyst to really change or head my business in the right direction. Because saying that and getting that inside you to be your innate statement just does something for you. Until you experience, you don't know it until you experience it. So I encourage you to create your innate statement and learn it, know it, and say it.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Mitzi. That's
You're welcome.
so powerful. If you guys, if you have an innate statement, type I have one in the chat. If you don't have an innate statement, drop a 2. And if you don't, reach out to your team leader. We did a call on that last month where we helped create them. So you can go get the recording to that and just do it. Like Mitzi said, start the work. All right. Thank you so much, Mitzi. So powerful. I see a couple 2s. Reach out to your champ and grab that recording and get them. Next person that we're going to hear from also has kind of a fun milestone from last month. Her name is Lori Hart. She's been a Circle champion with us for the last 10 months, maybe 11. And she just went and picked up her vehicle. Because if you don't know, once you hit rank 6 and you've maintained it for 2 months, Prove It will give you an $800 a month car payment, meaning they'll give you an extra $800 a month if you go grab a car that fits their criteria and literally pays you to drive a vehicle. It's like the coolest. It's free money. If you're hitting rank 6 and you're not getting the car, like, you should get the car because it's free money in your pocket to drive a fun vehicle. So Lori, what's happening? Where are you at?
Hey Nick, how are you? Hey guys, Lori Hart here from Boston, Mass. Cracking a keto up, about ready to get into my new car because I have a doctor appointment in 1 hour. So thank you for sharing that. It's been 12 months. I hit Circle of Champions last September at your house, and I jumped up in the air with a bunch of ladies. We were so excited. And yeah, I waited a whole year just to be sure that it was going to happen and come every month. And here we are a year later. So super excited.
Tell me a little bit about your car before this one.
Well, okay. Well, most people would say, oh, poor you. I had an '06 Mercedes. So I wasn't like that. It wasn't like a Pinto or like a 1999 Hyundai, but it was an older car. No air conditioning in the shop pretty much every other week. And when you have an older Mercedes, when you bring it to the shop every other week, it's pretty expensive. So I will show you because I'm on my way out the door. Here she is. She lies out front because now this belongs to my daughter. So there's my '06 Mercedes. And then if you want to just pan on over here to this baby, this is our new Range Rover. It doesn't even, I said to my daughter, it doesn't look like it belongs in front of our house. But yeah, this is our new car. Isn't she pretty? I keep calling her she. I don't know why, but I just told Nick earlier, I have a doctor appointment in the city today and I'm afraid to drive it. Craig told me to take the Mercedes in.
No,
Anyway,
you gotta drive that thing. How do you feel when you drive it?
I feel safe. That's how I feel safe. It tells me where I need to go. I can look down in the parking spot and make sure that all wheels are inside the lines. It's amazing.
What did you say that you call it? What do you call it?
My lady.
Okay.
She.
I think you need to name it.
Right? So
that's awesome. Well,
yeah.
Congratulations, Lori. Thanks for sharing, and just congratulations to your success and your continued consistency in your business.
Thank you.
And the car program is one of those things that we just don't talk about enough. If you're driving a paid for car by Prove It, type what type of vehicle you have in the comments. I'm just curious what kind of cars. We got a Lexus 350, RX 350, a Porsche. Ooh, that sounds nice. An Audi A7, Kia Sorento, Tesla, Jaguar. I mean, those are some pretty cool cars. Jeep Sahara. I've got a Tesla X in the garage. Ooh, a Ford Raptor. I mean, we don't talk about our car program enough. And like an $800, I saw a post on Facebook or something earlier yesterday. Somebody in another network marketing company had earned a Jeep and they're getting like $300 a month for a payment. And I'm like, shoot, with today's interest rates, that's not going to get you much of a Jeep. But $800 a month is a pretty significant car payment. And you can, as you just saw with Lori, you can get a pretty cool ride. And it's not just about it's not about flashy things. I heard it once described as if you get to have a business that pays for a nice vehicle for you to drive in, and you're driving to your job in a car that your business is basically earning you, you get to revel in that. Like you get to sit in that vehicle and just think, dang, this is my business. I like this. This is pretty fun. And you get to realize like, okay, yes, you can earn an income, but yes, there's also like, you get to enjoy some of the finer things in life as a result of this, things that you probably wouldn't treat yourself to. There's a lot of practical people on here. I'm pretty practical when it comes to money. I'm a good steward of the money that comes in. So I'm not somebody that just spends willy-nilly on things. But there's something to be said when Prove It says, hey, you can choose one of these brands, or you have a car that's over $50,000 and we're going to give you $800. It ensures that you're like, you level up a little bit when you get into that vehicle. You open the door, you're like, this is it. And maybe if you've had that car for a little bit and you've kind of forgotten that mindset or forgotten to have a little bit of gratitude around that vehicle, center that again, bring that and share that with people you're working with. I had texted Brian after Lori picked up her car, and I'm like, dude, we haven't done a great job the last 2-3 years of just talking about how many vehicles are paid for by Prove It, like the true amount of fun that's happening, the safe cars that are being provided to people in our community is just out of this world. So thank you so much for sharing, Lori, and it's inspiring to see the car and super fun. So thank you.
Thank you.
We have one more story that we're going to share, which is another story of just consistency of sticking with it. And it's somebody who has been running for a recruiting roundtable since it launched back in whatever it was, February, and has her own story around that and hit it, I think, for the first time here in September. And she's somebody that is absolutely amazing, a pillar in our community, and is also really good at recruiting. So Amber, where are you at? Are you on here?
I'm here, Nick. Thank you.
Woo! There you are. Real quick, just share your journey over the last 9 months of running for a recruiting roundtable, and kind of how you've come close, then not hit it, and what maybe you did specifically to hit it this last month.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll give you a little bit of a condensed version. My name's Amber Horn. I live out in Oregon. I'm a mom of 6, grandma of 2, and recently an empty nester. So I've got more time on my hands now. But I've been part of this community for 3 years and love drinking ketones for fat loss, for energy, and I'm just in a better mood all the time. Before, I weighed 100 pounds more, and I was addicted to Monster Ultra, drinking like 4 or 5 a day. And that's what originally brought me in. But I haven't had one since. And I just love drinking ketones and love being part of this community. So I think it was like January, February when the company came out with Recruiting Roundtable. And I was an athlete in college and an athlete in high school. And I'm super competitive. Like, I like to win games. So when they had this incentive come out, I thought, oh, I'm doing that. I'm going to get it. No problem. And I worked hard. I put up a lot of content. I talked to every single one of my customers. I approached people that I knew, and I got my five recruits with either the max or the mega. I held a lot of meetings. Like, I just worked and worked and worked, and I was so excited. So then the day after, or on the 1st, I look at the board and I'm not on it. I was like, oh, they've messed up again. I'm going to contact support and make sure they get my name up on there, because, I earned it. And then I contacted support, and they told me that a gal, one of the 5, had emailed support at 10 p.m. the night before and asked for a refund on her pack. Like, she had buyer's remorse. So in the back office, I only had 4, and I needed the 5th one to get Recruiting Roundtable. And I actually was a little like frustrated and kind of got in my head, maybe this isn't meant for me. I put everything into it. I didn't accomplish what I set out to accomplish. I felt a little bit like a failure. I also had a few other people that I was saving for the next month, right? Because they were on the fence, and had I known that I wasn't going to get it, I would have reached out to them really quick and see if they would sign up a few days earlier. But I just felt defeated, and I got in my own head and decided that the roundtable thing is just not for me. It's too hard. I busted my butt, didn't get it. Moving on to the next thing, I'm going to put my energy and focus somewhere else. So a few months passed. Then I went to more in, I think it was May. And I saw the people on the Recruiting Roundtable. They got these cool tags that were a different color. And I'm competitive. I was like, I need that tag. And then I saw some really cool backpacks, and I don't know, I got fired up a little bit again, and that was in May. So it took me a while to gain momentum. There was a few months that I had 4 and not a 5th. And instead of getting frustrated, I just plugged back in the next month. In fact, last month I had 4. And then September 1st of this month, I said, this is my month. There's no way that I'm not going to get it. And I've just been working hard, having lots of conversations. I know something that really helps me, that Jessie Lee actually taught, that it takes 9 no's to get a yes. And so I'm constantly doing that math in my head. I know in the past, and I know some of you probably struggle with, you get a few no's, and then you're like, okay, this doesn't work. This is not for me. Nobody likes me. Nobody wants to join me. And she really said to get excited about those 9 no's, because that means you're getting closer to the 1 yes. And so if I gave you a tip on how to hit Recruiting Roundtable, is just talk to more people. Like, how many people did you talk to about the business conversation last month? Maybe it was 2, maybe it was 3, and maybe you didn't get anyone to sign up. And that just means that you need to have more conversations and not get frustrated when you start getting no's and people turn you down. You just move on to the next one and get closer to that 10th person. So yes, I hit it this month. I was so excited. And last night, or today's the second. So I was so worried that someone was going to cancel again. But I got an email from Prove It that said, congratulations, you hit recruiting roundtable. And I feel excited. I'm going to hit it again this month, and I'm putting that out there right now. So let's go.
Boom. I love it. So for those of you watching, like, who's going to hit it this month? And it's really a mindset shift. It's a, number one, you set the goal. All right, I'm going for it. Number two, you take the action, and then you just believe it's going to happen, right? And if you're going to have Amber's story, you're going to run for it for 10 months. She might have taken a hiatus for 2 months, but that's okay. And you're going to keep running and keep going and keep having conversations. And then guess what? It's going to start happening. And because you've taken that action, Amber already had a new promoter enroll yesterday in October. So she's already got one towards the 5 for October. Why did that one happen? Because she started to plant those seeds. And I know because of her consistent behavior of conversations, right? It's going to just happen continuously now. So I love what she just said as well. 9 conversations for every 9 no's for every 1 yes. I want you to think of like specific people saying no, not just people that haven't made a decision yet, but people who have actually said, no, Nick, I'm not interested in joining your team. If they're not telling you that, then you haven't asked the question enough times or haven't been specific enough about it. Most of the time it's just, hey, I don't think I'm ready yet. But so if you do the math, how many promoters do you need for Recruiting Roundtable? Drop it in the chat. This might be a rhetorical question, but this is the participation part. Or show me a hand. All right, there you go. Good job. 5. So if you have to talk to 9 people to get 1, that's 10 people for every 1, right? So how many conversations about the business? If you want to hit this isn't for everyone. This is for those that want to run for it. How many conversations do you need to have specifically about the business? Okay, this is simple math. This is great. This is great. 50. We were doing a challenge with my 7-year-old on the boat this weekend because it was 85 degrees in Minnesota, where she had her life jacket on and I would hold her out over the water where she's leaning back and I would ask her math questions. And she got them wrong, I'd drop her in the water. This isn't one that you guys should be getting wrong. 60 to get an extra. There you go. I like that, Tabitha. That's perfect. So if I told you that, okay, all you have to do is talk to 60 people, ask them if they want to join your team, connect them with the resources and tools that we have, and then you'll hit Recruiter Roundtable, would you do it? Let me ask you that question. If I told you that this is the specific roadmap, you need to go have 60 conversations or 50 conversations and ask them if they want to join you, right? Would you do it? Now, the hard part is after no number 5, no number 6, no number 7, we start to take those no's personally and we start to think, oh, shoot. So you either have to get comfortable with that or you have to learn to celebrate those no's because they lead to the ones that are going to say yes. You have to realize, hey, I sorted you out. And here's what's interesting, right? If you've done this long enough, you're going to find that it's not a linear equation. Meaning you might talk to 10 and get 3. You might also talk to 10 and get none, talk to 10 and get none, talk to 10 and get 1. Like it's going to vary a little bit. There's not going to be an exact pattern. But I do know that over time, if you have 100 conversations, there's probably going to be 10 promoters in there, right? That'll be Recruiting Roundtable 2 months in a row. So this is a simple business. Simple to do is simple not to do. If it's easy to do, it's easy not to do. It's easy to not have conversations. It's easy not to follow up. It's easy not to follow through, but it's also simple to do. We just have to do it. So I hope you guys got some value out of that today. At the end of the day, if we all take a long-term vision of where we're going 3 years down the road, now we put in the kind of activity that you've heard from Amber, creating the vision of what's possible. You heard Lori or saw her car. If a Range Rover gets you excited like it does me, latch onto that. Like, oh, I'm excited to go pick out your car. What car are you going to drive, Mitzi Lowe, when you hit rank 6? Right? What does that vehicle look like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? Get back into creating that vision and being so excited about what it looks like to, for me, fly airplanes. Like I knew exactly what it was going to be like to be a pilot and to go on trips and how that experience was going to be. And that's what got me through 5 years of daily, I'm talking daily, hours a day effort in order to create that outcome. Well, if we have the same level of intensity and same level of focus on what we're creating here in this business, it's possible. right? It happens. So thank you so much, ladies, for sharing. Appreciate all of you and everybody being on here today. We have 2 opportunities this week to plug into. Number one is our product focused kind of guest live on Tuesday night. These have been amazing. And I have a challenge for this group. I looked, I think we've been averaging between 7,000 and 9,000 views per live, right? And Dustin and I were talking this last week and we're like, we should be able to get that up to 15 or 20,000 this month. They are that valuable. If we all collect, there's 100 people on here. If we each had 10 people, that's 9,000. Well, this is just the percentage of Prove It. Like Prove It as a whole should be able to have 20 or 30,000 views on each of those, right? So let's use them. Thursday is all about the opportunity, whether it's going to be a hear different stories or hear somebody who's made millions of dollars and prove it, what their journey looked like, or hear somebody that's brand new and how they're crushing MVP. It's going to be a great opportunity to validate the conversation of our business. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, use those as a tool. If you think about it simply, what are you doing on a daily basis? Having new conversations with people. You can do that offline. You can do that online. What are you doing? You're validating those conversations. You're using the tools and resources that we have. One of those happens to be these Facebook Lives. Then we're making the ask. We're inviting them to get started. Okay. So thanks for being on. Appreciate all of you. I hope you have an amazing day. We'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.